today all participants of the Big History Conference in India. And however, we are in the Netherlands now, Kortehoef, a very small village near Amsterdam. I'm going to tell you a story about the work of Maria Montessori in India, where she started cosmic education. And cosmic education is much related to big history. I will tell you more about it. But first I want to ask you to read my paper. It was first published in Big History Volume 6, number 10, and it's called A Cosmic Approach of Education, and you will find much more Montessori related articles in that origins. First, I want to tell you about the start of Maria Montessori in India with cosmic education. But second, the second start from Maria Montessori from 1907 when she started her career, because I think it's a wonderful example of being a big historian, thinking and working person. I think Maria Montessori is a wonderful example of that, because in my opinion, big history or cosmic education is not only a curriculum or a scientific discipline, but it's a way of observing, researching, building, and learning and teaching. And when you do so, it can become a way of life. And in my opinion, Maria Montessori made her life cosmic or big historical. So let's start in India. Yes, excuse me, I had forgotten to tell that Maria Montessori was a very important education reformer, and when you don't know her, please, you can find a lot of information about her. I said we are going to India, but you see I'm still in my garden and you can see my house in the back. But yes, we are going to India because Maria Montessori, before the Second World War, went to India, and she had connections with a lot of versatile thinking people like Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore was a polymath, a poet, a writer, a composer, a philosopher, a social reformer, a painter, and what he did, he started Montessori schools in India. Before the Second World War, Maria Montessori had to flee to Spain first, but also Spain was not a very safe place, so she went back to India, where she started her own school in Kodaikanal, and a training center in Madras. And what she observed in her own school in India is very nice, because most of the children thought that India just was the world. There was nothing else but only India. So that was the time that Maria Montessori thought, well, we have to tell the children how big everything is. And she started there with cosmic education. Not only to tell that there are more than one country than India in the world, but also the start of the world, how the world was formed, how life was evaluated, etc., etc. A cosmic education, a cosmic curriculum, big history. And after that, in 1947, she wrote together with her son Maria Montessori everything in a book called To Educate the Human Potential there is one beautiful quote I like to read. Let us give the child a vision of the entire universe. The universe is an impressive reality and the answer on all questions. We will collectively walk this path of life. For all things are part of the universe, all with each other connected in a comprehensive unity. This image helps the child's mind to focus, to stop wandering in an aimless quest for knowledge. It is fulfilled. It has found the universal center of himself and all things. It is imperative to focus the interest of the child to a midpoint. The method with which today are common, however, are not effective. How to keep the spirit of a growing individual interest, as all our education deals with a specific topic with a limited scope and limited to the transfer of knowledge, those little details that he is able to memorize. And now we are going to the start of the career of Montessori, because in my opinion that was cosmic or big historical too. Now we go to the start of the career of Maria Montessori. And it started before 1907, but at that time a wonderful thing happened. But first, Maria Montessori was the first doctor in medicine, female medicine in Italy. And I said already, she was a very versatile thinking woman, and she did more than one scientific study, also psychiatry. And she had to deal with stubborn men about specific disabled children. And the men said, well, there's something with the brains of the children. But Maria Montessori said, no, 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 no. It's a social problem. They have bad housing, bad nutrition, bad family situation, unemployment, lots of alcohol, and all of other problems related to just what I mentioned. And she said the ingredients of their environment are very bad. And that gave Maria Montessori the idea of the prepared environment. We can compare it with the Goldilocks condition we mentioned often in Big History. When all the conditions are okay, something special can happen. And Maria Montessori said, well, when all the ingredients in the surrounding of the child is healthy and good, you can expect good things. And in 1907, she was asked to help with reforming of the slums of Rome. And she made the Casa dei Bambini, houses of children, but not only houses of children, the schools. There came better houses. There came work for women. They made vegetable gardens in the around the houses. There were plants in the houses and plants in the squares, and everything was well painted. And everyone helped together to keep everything clean and healthy. So you can say there came a healthy environment, and the prepared environment in the class. You can read a lot of them in my paper, but I name a few. Maria Montessori developed a lot of wonderful educational material still used at this moment in every Montessori school in the world. And she made the school special. Why? Because she said the school must made in the mass of children. For instance, taps and sinks, not high, but just in the mass of the child. Doorknobs, coat racks, etc. They made corners in the classrooms to work to paint, to rest, to read. She lowered the windows of the buildings. They were first very high, so children could not look outside, but now they have to see the outside world. And they made the windows. And one of the most beautiful examples, Maria Montessori named the liberation of slavery. And that was the old school desks. I think they were all the same in all the world. Heavy. Most of the time 3 or 4 children has to sit all day like this to keep their mouth shut. A lot of fields underneath. And Maria Montessori said no, they need small tables, they can be here by themselves, they can choose with whom to work with. So they can move, that's important for the children. They can talk to each other, that's important. And in my opinion, Maria Montessori did things what's the essence of cosmic education and big history to me. To see, to try to understand all the relations there are in our space and time. And I think Maria Montessori saw that very good. And to me, she's a wonderful example of big history. Thank you very much.